name is Autumn Meinhardt, and today I'm going to talk to you about death. While I know this can be an extremely touchy subject, it is vital to have an open dialogue about the most important thing that we all share, life. There is one thing about life that is inevitable for all of us, and it is that it ends. Each and every one of us is going to die, and death can be really scary to think about and very uncomfortable to talk about, especially whenever someone that we love or ourselves is given a life expiration date. No one wants to die without their dignity, which is why you deserve to make the decision when the right time is to end your own life. I do not condone suicide at any other time, but if, for instance, I am diagnosed with a life-threatening terminal illness, and I know that I only have a few months to live, I believe that I should choose, as a human, that it is my right to decide not to spend the last few months of my life withering away to nothing while my friends and my family watch me do so. No one can prepare to say goodbye to someone that they love, but by making the choice to have physician-assisted suicide, you can help make that easier for everyone. I personally don't want someone feeding me or changing me or having to wipe me after I've used the bathroom. I don't want people waiting around for months trying to decide or trying to prepare themselves for what's to come. I want my family, my children, and my friends to remember me in a good spirit, with good health, and in a good physical state that leaves memories that represent my true, energetic, outgoing, and happy self. I have watched family members that I love and close family friends leave this earth in a way that was detrimental not only to themselves, but to everyone around them that loved them. I was very close with a woman for most of my life and watched her die a very slow, painful death. She left me with images of a woman that I did not recognize because she deteriorated so much in front of my face. She couldn't feed herself or change herself or even go to the bathroom without someone's help. And looking back, I truly feel that she should have had the right to choose when and how she ended her life before she became that way on her own terms and when she was in a good physical and mental state to do so. According to deathwithdignity.org, 7 out of 10 Americans agree that terminally ill people should have the right to die with dignity. As a large number as that is, only 9 states have adopted laws that allow people to legally do so. In November 4th of 1997, the first state was Oregon that adopted a dignity law, allowing terminally ill patients in the state of Oregon to request this service legally. As mentioned in the Hastings Center report, this caused some commotion within the medical community, arguing it was against the oath of doing no harm. However, the general population became aware that there is a need for this conversation to be had, and that many other states started talking about this being an option for their state as well. Since 1997, 8 other states have adopted similar laws, allowing this choice to be made, several in the most recent years. What is the dignity law? I've spent an immense amount of time researching the different laws that these states have set in place. All of them have a few things in common. The patient must be diagnosed with a terminal illness with documented proof, and a second doctor must confirm that that is a proper diagnosis and that the patient has 6 months or less to live. There's also a waiting period from the initial verbal request to end their lives that way until they are actually given the medication that they then take home and that they can choose on their own whether or not they ever take. For some people, they choose to take it right away. Other people, no time feels like the right time, and they don't. Some people confuse physician-assisted suicide with euthanasia. I've given everyone a pamphlet from the deathwithdignity.org. It explains the different laws, what the requirements are from everyone, and also the difference between euthanasia and physician-assisted suicide. The biggest difference is that in physician-assisted suicide, the doctor gives a prescription which you take home and you administer it to yourself on your terms when you want. With euthanasia, someone else administers that to you, and you don't really have a final say in when or how you feel about it. If the time's right, it's on their agenda, and they get the final say. And the Postgraduate Medical Journal discusses the difference between those two and how people in the medical field and as well as citizens in our country take that and decipher the difference between the two. As many of us are too young to remember, there was a man of the name Dr. Jack Kevorkian. He is an American pathologist and physician. He was devoted to the idea that people should be able to make this choice on their own terms and would provide services that allow this at all cost. He even went to extreme measures as to making a machine that allowed patients to administer the drugs to themselves. He assisted over 120 patients in their suicide and was even imprisoned after being charged with second-degree murder for allowing someone to do this procedure in a state he was not legally allowed to. While people tried to silence him and punish him for his ideology and actions, he became the face of the movement and had a large number in making the public aware of the procedure and helped them become widespread. While there are many that agree that this is an ethical process, there are many people who also think that it's not. Organizations such as the World Federation for the Right to Die Societies publish news articles from all over the world about passing cases and judgments from 49 different organizations in 26 different countries. They hold large meetings every 2 years and come together as one to discuss all of the things that are changing and what they can do collectively to bring awareness to the movement. Many people find it very hard to care for loved ones at the end of their lives. This can be an emotionally and physically exhausting task as well as financially taxing. Most people are forced to choose between caring for their loved ones or staying at their jobs to make money. Like most of our country, people are unable to up and quit their jobs and take an extended break from them without being paid. While there are many programs in place to protect the jobs of individuals that need to care for their family members, such as the FMLA, these programs do not require employers to pay their employees. They have a job to return to, but during that time they have no money. Not everyone has the mental capacity to care for another human at the end of their lives. It is very hard to watch someone that you love deteriorate and to lose their pride. When someone loses their physical abilities and need help during everyday tasks, someone must step up and do those. Feeding and bathing and assisting someone in everyday tasks takes a lot out on someone physically. The patient often feels as if they are a burden to their family members, and they also lose their dignity. At this point of life, whenever you can no longer do things for yourself and someone else is doing those things for you, that's where I think that they should have an option to opt out of spending the last few months of their life being embarrassed and feeling degraded, and that they should be able to end their lives with dignity and spend their final days with quality. While the decision to end your life in a peaceful, painless manner should be yours to make, sometimes it is not. And if we are not legally allowed to do so, with the grace of our medical providers, then we are given two other options. To end on our own terms in a way that seems to be unethical and immoral, or live out our lives in a painful way for everyone involved. To some, that may be the way that they choose to go, but we should be able to make that option ourselves of having to end our lives the way that we want. It is vital that we take a stand for our rights as humans and to take control of our lives, including how and when we decide to end them.